what you want. Thank you.
That looks like it's it.
Okay. Let me get you filled up here.
Thank you. We'll get it out yet this afternoon.
That's supposed to be in the motor now.
See you. Bye.
This one's in the plane.
You got a minute to take a look at the warehouse? You got time?
Yes, I'm retired. I have all the time in the world. And you are?
Tim Yeoman. You are.
Frankie Rose.
All right, Frank. How are you? Let's go out in the warehouse. This is Gargamel, our friend.
All right.
Out of Kings Island. Was the Enchanted Voyage.
Wow, this place is gigantic. From the outside, it doesn't look this big.
No, you're right. From the outside, you just see the brick facade, and you can't really tell that there's actually two buildings here. This one and then the one next door. This is some of the stuff that we've collected over the years.
Well, that sign up there, it looks relatively new.
Yeah, it is new. It was from a distributor that never became a distributor. I ended up with it somehow. I bought it and took it right out of the box and put it up there. So it's never been out in the weather.
So I'm looking at this older sign here.
Oh yeah, this auto dash light
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That was the original Bendix auto light that was out of Toledo. And when Ford purchased it back in the 60s or maybe even the late 50s, they took the dash out of it and turned it into the script that it is today.
Here we got all these Ford sign emblems. How come there's different lettering on?
Well, over there on the top is probably from back in the 40s and early Ford, and it changed back in about, I would say maybe even in the 32s, which they went into the other script that's still available or still used today. The R&G had to do with the 32 Ford, and what happened was Henry was late getting it out and getting it produced and getting it on the market, much the same as this last fiasco that they had with the T-Bird. It was late and this, that, and the other. But anyway, he put out a sign package to all the dealers that said, hey, you're renewed and guaranteed selling used cars and trucks. Leave me alone until the 32 comes out. So that's why he just sent the sign and some literature and some catalogs and so forth, trying to hold him off until he was able to get the 32 the way he wanted it.
Notice you got a license plate collection over there.
Yeah, it goes from back in the porcelain one there on the top of it with the white, and then it goes up into the 60s, which was my grandfather's collection, and then my father added to it. And then there's back around the corner over here is some more current ones, but just something that it collect.
How many parts are in here, and how do you keep track of all of them?
Well, actually there's 15,000 of these boxes, and they come in 2 or 3 different sizes because the parts that are in them are different sizes. So we sort them by the size, and then we put them into the computer. There's like 250,000 part numbers that are in the whole building, which is this building, the next building in the basement that's in the other building. And they're listed on the computer, and if the part that you've got is in box number 137, you come out and go to box 137 and pull the part out, or if it's in box number 14,597 and it's in the back, and you go back there and pull it out. And these over here, those are done by size. The smaller brown boxes are at the bottom, and then they get bigger as they go up, and then they get bigger as you go farther back until we get in the back end of the building, and we'll go, discuss that when we get there. We constantly refurbish our inventory by dealers that have got their obsolete stuff with their 2016 parts. Then they got to get rid of what they haven't sold in the last 10 years, 5 years, whatever they use, and they'll call us and send it in. And what we'll do is keep track of these boxes as to how, if they need to be refilled on a list, and then it comes in, we'll just pull the box out, fill it up, put it back in, add that to the inventory. So what I thought would be a continuous deal of just keep going farther and farther back actually has really stopped as far as the expanding of the thing, because when you fill in the blanks, you don't have to add more boxes to it. At least that's what. And the same situation is here. When you sell out of the shelves, the shelf becomes half empty, and when they put the brown box stuff away, they keep filling up the shelves.
Oh, what's with this?
That's one of our mannequins. A number of years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago, McAlpin's over at Kenwood Shopping Center here in Cincinnati had to get rid of all their mannequins and go with people with no arms and heads and all that kind of stuff. So some guy sent me 150 of these mannequins. They were little kids, females, males, and so on and so forth. And you'll see them. You saw some up in the front on top, and then there's some more around it that I'll show you as we go. But we're down to what's here, and the rest of them are all gone.
So when somebody calls in for a part, how do you manage to get the part from these racks to the front there?
Well, what happens is the fellows who take the call in the office type it into the computer, and it spits out a label, and the label goes out here on the table, and then the pickers go out and pick the parts from the boxes or the shelves or over in the other building or downstairs or in the back, bring it into the front, and they process it for shipping up front. So it's just a constant roll of part number stickers. I don't see any laying here, but we'll see some as we go, and that's how we get the parts from the phone to the truck.
I noticed there's the number of those boxes are like 7,000. How many of those individual boxes do you have here?
Well, there's 3 different sizes of boxes that we use. The one that you're looking at is the biggest box that we have for the volume stuff. Then there's smaller boxes here, and then there's medium-sized boxes. So there's 3 different kinds depending on the size of the part. There's just shy of 15,000 boxes. You'll see when we get to the back. I think it's like 14,900 and something. But that's the way we do the parts. And then, like I said before, we just refill them as we go. Over here on this side, where they're on shelves and so forth, there's all the sections are done down through the alphabet, but you have to eliminate the L's and the Q's and that type of thing because they're difficult in the computer to do. But there's over 1,000 of these shelves that from here to here and then all the way to the back that we keep on inventory in the computer. And that takes care of the shelves and the boxes. And then we get down to here. Oh, here's 14,000, and then 15,000 is on the back side of this shelf here. And it's all these little boxes of unbelievable pins, bushings, bearing, just little grimbly stuff that nobody in their right mind would even try to inventory. But, the dealers buy it and they need it to complete their job and get the customer out on the road. These are metal tubs. They're sectioned into 4 sections so that you don't have to empty that whole thing to find out what's in it. But the piece that you're looking for that comes on the little tag that we talked about is contained in there. And there's like 250 of these tubs. There's this breakout, and then next door there's a bunch of them.